You truly never know what to expect when it comes to the NHL's free agent frenzy. Some years free agency may feel anticlimactic, but I can assure you that this year, free agency so far has not disappointed. It's been super entertaining to watch, so let's dive right into it. Here are the winners and the losers of the 2023 NHL free agency so far. The Nashville Predators. When the Nashville Predators made the trade to send Ryan Johansson to Colorado in exchange for future considerations and subsequently bought out Matt Duchene from his remaining 3-year contract, there was a lot of speculation about how they would handle the offseason and rebuild their roster. However, under the guidance of new Predators GM Barry Trotz, an effective plan was put into action. The Predators have made some unexpected moves, particularly in regards to their forward group. They secured the services of Ryan O'Reilly on a 4-year, $18 million contract. They signed Gustav Nyquist to a 2-year, $6.37 million deal and extended Cody Glass with a 2-year, $5 million contract. In addition, they added some depth to their blue line by acquiring Luke Schenn on a 3-year, $8.25 million deal. The Predators will find themselves in a similar situation as last season, relying on good health and some fortune to have a chance at making the playoffs. With Philip Forsberg returning from injury and Saros guarding the net after his remarkable performance in the second half of last year, Nashville's chances are promising. While the team is in a rebuilding phase, the changes are being implemented swiftly. The addition of experienced players like O'Reilly and Nyquist bring on veteran leadership to complement promising forwards such as Philip Tomasino, Joakim Kemmel, and Luke Evangelista. Luke Schenn's presence also adds to the veteran core alongside Roman Josi, Tyson Barrie, and Ryan McDonough. Nashville has established a solid and hard-working setup under Trotz's guidance, with head coach Andrew Brunette potentially replicating his success from 2 years ago with the Florida team. The Nashville Predators could prove to be a formidable opponent for any team. Kyle Dubas and the Pittsburgh Penguins. When Kyle Dubas assumed the role of president of hockey operations for the Pittsburgh Penguins, it was evident to him and everyone else that there were numerous roster challenges to address. The Penguins, a team comprised of aging stars, faced significant salary cap restraints. They were plagued by injuries, particularly in the goaltending position, and had notable depth issues. Managing these complexities presented a substantial task for any GM or president of hockey operations. Given these circumstances, the Penguins' decision to re-sign Tristan Jarry to a 5-year, $26.875 million contract and defenseman Ryan Graves to a 6-year, $27 million deal certainly raised some eyebrows. Jarry's recent injury problems are still fresh in everyone's memory, which likely prompted the addition of Alex Nedeljkovic on a 1-year, $1.5 million contract to compete with Casey DeSmith for the backup role. Having goalie depth has become crucial in today's NHL, with 3 goaltenders almost becoming a necessity. However, the Penguins have frequently found themselves in situations where all their goaltenders have seen playing time in Pittsburgh. The acquisition of Graves is undoubtedly a solid move. During his time with the New Jersey Devils last season, Graves formed a productive pairing with former Penguin defenseman John Marino, which contributed to Marino's impressive season with 18 points in 64 games. This success came just a year after Pittsburgh traded Marino for Ty Smith, making the situation somewhat awkward. Pairing Graves with either Jeff Petrie or Chris Letang should provide a boost to Pittsburgh's defensive corps. Nevertheless, committing to a 6-year contract for a 28-year-old player came as a surprise. While there was undoubtedly interest in Graves, the demand to the extent of a 6-year deal does not really make much sense. Pittsburgh did, however, enhance their forward group by signing Lars Eller, Noel Acciari, and Matt Nieto, ensuring that these contracts were limited to a maximum of 2 years. These acquisitions demonstrate prudent business decisions. However, the long-term deals for Graves and particularly Jarry highlight the limited options available in the market for significant upgrades. The Carolina Hurricanes. The Carolina Hurricanes continue to earn praise for their astute moves. They consistently make intelligent and sensible signings that allow their team to thrive. One notable signing for Carolina was Dmitry Orlov, the top defenseman available in the market, who agreed to a 2-year, $15.5 million contract. While this deal carries a significant average annual value of $7.75, it spans just 2 years, providing Orlov with an opportunity to secure another lucrative contract in the summer of 2025. With Orlov joining a defensive unit already comprised of Brent Burns, Brett Pesce, Jacob Slavin, and Brady Shea, the Hurricanes' backhand becomes even more solid and potent offensively. Additionally, Carolina acquired the tenacious scoring forward Michael Bunting on a 3-year, $13.5 million contract. Bunting brings a scoring presence near the net and the ability to frustrate opponents. It's one thing to possess skill, but being both skilled and a pest on the ice is a distinct advantage. Furthermore, Carolina didn't solely focus on external signings, they also retained key players who contributed to their success as one of the NHL's premier teams. They re-signed Jesper Fast to a 2-year, $4.8 million contract and brought back goaltenders Antti Ranta and Frederik Andersen. Coupled with Jordan Staal's 4-year, $11.6 million extension signed before free agency, the Hurricanes have essentially maintained the core of their roster. This decision to stay the course stems from their near miss against Florida in the Eastern Conference Final, with the hope that luck may favor them in the upcoming season. The Carolina Hurricanes consistently make wise decisions, and so far during free agency, they've made nothing but great moves. The Toronto Maple Leafs. No NHL season would be complete without speculation surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this time it's their fans who are particularly curious about their team. On day one of free agency, the Leafs made relatively subdued signings that might have gone unnoticed if they were any other team outside of Toronto. However, the addition of tough player Ryan Reeves on a 3-year contract for $4.05 million and puck-moving defenseman John Klingberg to a 1-year, $4.15 million deal have caused quite a stir among the fan base. Bringing in Reeves provides the Leafs with a physical and intimidating presence, as well as a player who can handle the media attention that other players may shy away from in Toronto. Reeves brings a lightheartedness to the team, which is necessary in the intense environment of Toronto. However, his style of play may not perfectly align with the high-octane hockey that the Leafs employ. On paper, Klingberg seems like a logical addition as a puck-moving defenseman within the Leafs system. However, this raises questions about his defensive pairing and his role on the power play, considering they already have Morgan Rielly in place, who already covers those areas adequately. These two signings, along with the extension of David Kampf for 4 years at $9.6 million, have not generated the wow factor that Toronto sometimes craves. However, they did just sign Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi, which has given Leaf fans a ton to be excited about, but still, just based on this Ryan Reeves contract, I consider the Toronto Maple Leafs so far during free agency losers. The New York Islanders. For the majority of the first day of free agency, Long Island remained quiet. This can largely be attributed to the fact that GM Lou Lamoriello never divulges any information to the outside world. However, in the late afternoon of that day one, the Islanders made 4 signings, all of which were contract extensions. The most significant extension was granted to star goaltender Ilya Sorokin. The Islanders awarded Sorokin an 8-year, $66 million extension, and considering his exceptional performance since joining the NHL, he is undoubtedly worth every cent. While the Islanders may not play an overly aggressive brand of hockey and generally strive to make their goaltender's life easier, Sorokin has been nothing short of brilliant so far. In his 3 seasons, he has an impressive record of 70 wins, 46 losses, and 18 overtime losses, along with a remarkable .924 save percentage. He also achieved 16 shutouts and a 2.34 goals against average. The fact that he has not won a Vezina trophy in the past 2 seasons is not a reflection of his own abilities, but rather a result of outstanding performances from Igor Shesterkin and Linus Ullmark. If you ask me, it's only a matter of time before Sorokin earns this prestigious honor. Supporting Sorokin is the presence of a veteran backup goaltender, Semyon Varlamov. The Islanders recognized and valued this dynamic, leading them to secure Varlamov's services for a 4-year, $11 million extension. The New York Islanders emerge as winners primarily due to Sorokin's contract. It is customary to pay top dollar to retain your top player. Their other extensions may spark some debate, but within context to the Islanders' operating philosophy, they make sense. Additionally, the Islanders signed towering forward Pierre Engvall to a 7-year, $21 million extension and extended defenseman Scott Mayfield with a 7-year, $24.5 million deal. The Islanders are not typically inclined to make major waves or shake things up within their own locker room, and they certainly adhered to this approach. No new faces have been introduced this far, as they prioritize taking care of those who have contributed to their status as one of the league's most challenging teams to face off against. Thanks for watching our videos. Don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button.